In this week's episode of Wealth TV, the question is, who's your mama? I can tell you this is mine, and I'm going to share the compelling story of how she inspired me to overcome any adversity. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Wealth TV, and I'm asking you, who's your mama? I'm going to share with you the story of my mother, Nancy, and hopefully, your parents, I think, can inspire you to create wealth, but it's just depending on how you look at it. I choose to look at it from an existential point of view. It's a rather sad story I'm going to share with you, but I choose to look at it in a very positive way, and I'm excited to be with you this week. We're coming to you live just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, from the home office here, and I'm going to share with you my mother. This is Nancy, and this picture is from her high school graduation in 1958. I don't know. I think I may have her nose and her chin and her lips, but what do I know? But at any rate, Nancy had a really difficult journey and unfortunately died very young in life. My mother was only 51. And for many people that know my backstory, they know that I walked in when I was very young. I was 20 years old, and I walked in and found my mother in her bedroom. She had died, and Nancy had actually been dead for a couple of days. She died of a stroke. And that's really what provoked my health consciousness through the journey of my life from that day forward. But I got to tell you, when someone dies of a stroke and they've been dead for a couple of days, it looks like a murder scene. It's not a good-looking sight. And so it was a very tragic chapter in my life, but no pity parties here, none at all. In fact, I have taken so many phenomenal positive things from that very tragic event, and I choose not to feel sorry for myself, nor do I want anyone else to feel sorry for me. But I do want to illuminate her journey with you because I think it certainly inspired me. It's sparked an ambition in me to become wealthy, to create wealth, which really for me is not about materialism. It's not about fast cars and fancy houses. It's really about peace. Financial independence is really about manifesting peace in your life. We spend our lives going so fast. We're on the freeways, we're in smog and traffic, and we've got mortgages and rent and credit card bills and student loan debt and so many other things that we're dealing with. There's the complexities of living are just phenomenal at times. And so if we can break free of that, the nihilism of debt, I like to call it, if we can break free of the nihilism of debt and reach a level of financial independence, then it really frees us up to live the lives we really want to live, the want-to life, not the have-to life. Nancy, unfortunately, never got those opportunities. When you die at 51, you haven't been around very long. But it left a profound mark, obviously, on my soul. And, my mother was like any other woman from the late 50s. She came out to California in 1960 from the frigid cold of Buffalo, New York, with my father, and had myself and my brother, Steve, and in search of a better life. That's why people come to California in the 50s. They wanted a better life. Of course, there wasn't all the smog and the traffic and 7 million people in LA and Orange County combined to greet them in 1959, 1960. So they came out in search of a better life. Unfortunately, my parents were divorced by the time I was 13. And my mother went from living in a big home, big 4-bedroom home, to living in a tiny apartment. And with no master's degree or college education to speak of, because that was during a time in the 50s where a lot of women stayed at home and raised kids, and that in and of itself is a full-time job. and a very demanding and difficult one. So she did that, and she prosecuted the responsibilities of being a parent on a daily basis and dealing with me and my brother. I'm sure we were a handful like most kids, but at any rate, fast forward 15 years later, she's divorced and doesn't have a college degree. So my mother went back to school. She was going to Cal Poly University in Pomona, California. And I was very proud of Nancy. She was getting a degree to getting her teaching credential. She's getting straight A's at Cal Poly. But by the time she got to Cal Poly, she had gone from her small, tiny apartment to literally renting a little room in a friend's house. And that's where I found her one hot summer morning, when I walked up to my mother's bedroom and found her. And that has left an indelible mark on me as far as, when your parent is having to reinvent themselves, earning minimum wage at a job, barely surviving, putting themselves through college full time, barely making it, and again, renting a room, and dies in a room. That's just unspeakable. And that's left a burning ambition for me, not only to create financial independence and create wealth, which is obviously what our YouTube channel is about, and the stories and the journey and the process of that, but to also, it sparked a desire to never have debt in my life, to own the home that's above my head, and the roof above my head, and to it's probably sparked the ambition in building homes like I'm doing here with Premier Homes, and some of the exciting work that we're doing out here in Arizona with our small group of investors, and driving tremendous profits. So I'm excited about that. But all of that, you can look at your ambition as an adult. It doesn't matter whether you're 25 or 45, and you can look back to your childhood for that inspiration. And certainly my inspiration, my ambition comes from not wanting to walk down the path that my mother walked down. My mother didn't get to enjoy so many things in life, didn't get to go to Europe, didn't get to enjoy what it's like to be financially independent and to retire and not have to work and just live. Go to Italy, go to France, like some of my friends have done, and for 5, 6, 7, 8 months at a time because they own a successful business back here in the States, and just do really neat things. So much of her talent was left on the shelf. And so it sparked a health consciousness in me as well as a wealth consciousness. And when you see your mom carried out in a black body bag and loaded in the back of a van in the LA County coroner, and you're at her funeral, it's a phenomenally, I should say, it's I'm having a hard time, I guess, articulating it, and just thinking back to the memories of it. But it's a very difficult time, and it inspires a lot. So I just wanted to briefly share Nancy's journey with you. I hope that you can look back on your childhood for inspiration, no matter how difficult your journey was as a child growing up. And mine was very difficult. We came from a dysfunctional family, but again, no pity parties, no feeling sorry for myself. That's unacceptable. It's really about taking full responsibility for what I'm manifesting right here, right now. That's the existential ethos that I live by. That's what I subscribe to. I wanted to share Nancy's journey with you. No one should have to pick up their parent off the ground. And that's really where being healthy is going to be absolutely vital. Again, no matter where you're at in the journey right now as you're watching this video, whether you're 25 or 45, rich or poor, struggling to come back from a divorce like Nancy was, which can wipe us out emotionally, physically, and financially. You can do that. We can all make our comeback. That's the American way. It's the beautiful thing about our country. And we can live rich, we can manifest the prosperity we want, and we can look to our backgrounds for that inspiration, and that's what I do with Nancy. So I just wanted to share her journey with you. I hope that inspires some thoughts. If you would, get down below on our YouTube page here and share your comments. I hope something I may have said resonated with you, sparked something. If you would, tell your friends about our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel as well, so you're getting all of our latest videos each week. And I wish you much success on your journey, and again, I hope something here in this video helped to spark something in you. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.